Here we go, Dennis Young, Primitive Substance, kind of like the Halloween version here today. It'll probably run on Halloween 2025. Another special guest, James W. Bally, the third Bally on the show. He's a singer, songwriter, musician, composer, plays all types of music. And I guess you're living in Brooklyn now, right, James?
Yeah, that's where I am now. I'm in Bushwick.
Great. So thanks for doing this. And so let's talk first about your music upbringing. I know known you since you were like a toddler, playing music.
Yeah.
So were you
Uh,
influenced by anything out there that drew you to music and all these
yeah.
instruments?
We always had the piano in my dining room growing up.
Right.
I used to bang on it and stuff. And then my brother started taking bass lessons with the great Andrew Platt.
Okay.
I
Oh
was
yeah.
probably 12 or 13. I was like 6 or 7. And I think shortly after that, I asked my parents for piano lessons. So Mr. Platt was generous enough to give me a piano lesson, half hour every week. And then my brother and I started playing together a lot, and he kind of got into jazz, which kind of got me into jazz.
Mm,
And we started playing with my dad a lot then. So
I remember that.
yeah, it was definitely some personalities in the Bally household growing up, for sure.
Well, that's good. You had a lot of musical influence there in the house. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes I'm writing songs now, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like one of my dad's songs.
Hmm. Well, it might be, but I don't know. I
It's
still hear,
natural,
I
and
still
his
hear
taste.
your you yourself. I hear your style.
Oh, thank you. I think so too. I like it. I don't mind.
Right.
It seems like a natural thing. Also, my tastes have been defined somewhat by the CDs my dad was playing when I was a kid or whatever. So there's a lot of common, like even listening to my brother's record. I love my brother's record, and I feel like we have a similar perspective on life, I guess.
So what were you listening to? What bands were you listening to as a kid that were
I had a huge,
influential?
yeah, I had a huge Beatles phase. I remember when I was in like second or third grade. People would ask like, "Oh, what should we get for your birthday?" I know I said anything Beatles related. I
Hmm.
remember people like multiple people got me Beatles Rock Band at that one
I've
birthday.
been a big Beatles fan too.
Yeah, that I mean, it's still worth mentioning, even though everyone does, because they're just so great. 'Cause I've been listening to the White Album again lately.
That's
Um,
a great record.
yeah, so the Beatles. There's also a few other CDs my dad would play a lot, like Marvin Gaye's "I Want You," Curtis Mayfield's "Superfly." Um,
Hmm.
James Brown, stuff like that. I just remember listening to. And then when I got into jazz, like Charlie Parker, uh, Thelonious Monk became like heroes pretty quickly, and related very much to what I was doing in my lessons and like in the piano sphere. Um, and I think as I've grown up, I've kind of branched out into more other stuff, more contemporary things, rap music. Um, when I got to college, I really kind of opened up my listening, I think, more, um, which has definitely influenced this record, I think.
Well, it's great you have a college degree in music. I was at your recital. It was great. I mean,
Oh, thank you.
you were
Yeah,
polished and it's just really
yeah,
well done.
thank you. Yeah. College was going to music or going to college for music was like a very intense kind of nothing to do in Wayne, New Jersey at William Patterson.
Mm.
Just hunkered down and play the piano and shed and play with other people, which was like a really intense growing period for me and a very specific part of my musical identity. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, it's like almost feels like a fever dream, how quick it was, how intense it was, how everybody was kind of on the same page. We were kind of like just like a little conservatory at the school. Um, and definitely like my oral skills and my taste and my technique is like so beyond what I could have imagined it being before I got to college because of that experience and the teachers I worked with.
See, that's a key too. And then you met some great musicians to play with now you that you're currently still playing with, right?
Right, yeah. I had a band in college called Neptune and the Sailor, which put out some music. That was kind of like my first foray into the more alternative indie rock music. Um, and the guitarist from that band I still play with a lot for this album and other things. His name is Owen O'Mara. Um, so yeah, and I mean I still am in touch with a lot of the jazz students that I met there, and see them around in New York City all the time.
Mm.
Such a tight-knit community, that scene especially. So yeah, definitely. And Neptune was a huge um, watershed experience for me in terms of just like we recorded all our own stuff. That
Mm.
was the first time I ever did anything like that, and like being a part of that process really informed my outlook on recording this project.
Okay, yeah, because I want to go into that about how that happened. But I saw you guys play Nep, and what a show. You've put on a spectacular show.
yeah,
And the
thank you.
band is tight.
Yeah, everyone was a great musician. Everyone played all kinds of music and was coming from a different angle, and we were able to come together and kind of make something, a tapestry of that was connected. So thank you. Appreciate
Now, is
that.
that band still happening? Are you still doing shows?
We haven't played, the last time we played was August, a couple months ago. Um, Now that we're graduated, most of us are graduated from college. It's just hard to get together. I
Yeah.
don't think that it's over. I don't want to say that, but we haven't had uh, a meaningful meeting lately for the band. But yeah, I think one day I have some more music that I'm hearing in that context, so I feel like
Okay.
it's gonna have to come back together to fulfill that.
How about before we get to your record, classical music? Are you going to be doing any more classical type of concerts?
Yeah, I mean, so when I was in college, I studied 4 years with Mike Ladon, who's a great jazz piano player in the New York City. Bill Charlap also, who's a great jazz piano player, and Dr. Carl Balea, who's a great classical
Mm.
music, Baroque. He has a lot of specialties, other instruments, harpsichord and stuff like that too. So I had the privilege of studying with him and worked really hard on some classical music and had some performances at school. I don't do like performances out classically, just because it's just not my focus, but I still play at home a lot of Bach, and I think my keyboard parts on the record are, and new ones that I'm writing now, I see that contrapuntal Bach thing seeps its way into my psyche. So it's definitely a big part of my thing. And Dr. Carl Ballet is a big thanks for that. He was one of the best teachers I ever had. So
Now, I see your jazz roots because you were very good at improving.
right.
You really know how to improv, and jazz is a lot of improvisation, and you have to be good at that.
Yeah, I mean that's the language.
Yep.
I think one of the things I'm trying to do with this music is like synthesize a lot of my influences, and I think the aesthetic of jazz being like an in the moment communal
Mm.
music is something that I think I crave sometimes in more like polished pop or rock music, which I love too. But just like I mean, the Beatles are a good example. Like um, Billy Preston's like little answer figures on "Don't Let Me Down," for example, like they feel improvised.
Mm.
Um, I don't know if they are. They feel in the moment, and I guess I want to bring that kind of community. Everyone has input into my
Yeah.
music, in the moment kind of stuff.
So you're living in Brooklyn, so you have a lot of opportunities, right? To play more jazz out at different places.
For sure. I live pretty nearby Ornithology, which is a great club
Hmm.
in Bed-Stuy. They have a jam session every night. So I go there often. And there's a huge contingency of Bushwick jazz musicians, Bushwick indie musicians. This
Hmm.
area has kind of become like almost like a joke about how many like artistic
Yeah.
types move here nowadays. This is like the new hotspot. Um, so I definitely feel like there's a community of people that you can access
Well,
anytime.
that's smart for moving there. You move out to any place out in the suburbs or, Des Moines, Iowa, you're not going to get too many opportunities to meet other people to play with, and that's the key, to be able to diverse and play with different artists.
Yeah,
That's how you grow.
right, and that's how, like, circling back to my upbringing, like with my father and my brother, like that's how we grew from the beginning. And the scene is so big in Brooklyn and Lower Manhattan
Mm,
that I could go to a club, a different club every night,
mm.
and never see the same band twice in like years, probably, you know, which is amazing and daunting,
Yeah.
you know. So it's a privilege to live in such a wonderful place, I think.
So let's talk about the new record here, out on September 14th, 2025, self-titled, right?
Yes, just James.
And I've got a couple questions here. Why did you record it on a four-track cassette player?
Um,
I mean, it sounds great, but I'm just
yeah,
curious.
it's a great question. It's in a way it's become the identity of the record for me. When I listen to it, it's like, oh, this is like the the thing I was going for almost. And
Hmm,
it just kind of came about serendipitously in a way. I was at my friend's house and he had a little 4X 4 track and I was like, or 2 track, and I was like, wow, that's sick. Like I never thought about it. And then I remember my dad had one and I was writing
hmm.
all these songs at the time and I wanted to record them. And I thought about recording them on my laptop on my own, but I didn't feel like I was skilled enough at that to go for it at that point. And I asked my dad if he still had his 4 track Tascam cassette player. It's the Porta Studio one,
Okay.
and he said yeah, and then it was he'd have to get it fixed up. And I thought that maybe it was an opportunity that I'd try it, and it was an opportunity to kind of have a unique flavor to the music
Sounds it.
people aren't doing right now. And I thought that the songs I was writing would lend itself to that aesthetic. Um, and once I got the machine and I was working with it, it was very enticing and exciting. I mean, to work with something physical,
Yeah,
kind of unforgiving and limiting, um, gave me a lot of. It was frustrating at some points,
I'm
but it was
sure.
very
Yeah.
exciting too, like to work within those confines and be challenged in that way. And I think the product, like then I would send when I finished the record, I remember I sent it to all my friends who were very supportive the whole time, and they were like impressed at how well the sound was,
It
how
is great. I mean, it
so,
doesn't sound like you would think it's on a cassette.
no, it's definitely has like a lo-fi aesthetic, but it doesn't sound, it's not distracting, which I think
No.
is one of the goals. So yeah, thank you.
Now, I wanted to ask you about some of the songs. Earnhardt. Now, are you a racing car fan?
No, that's a strange song. I just remember this was about a year ago. I was living at home. I just graduated college in
Right.
2024. So it was the fall of 2024 when I was writing most of these songs. And I was living at home and I was trying to write. I was writing all the time. And I remembered that when I was a kid, I was aware of Dale Earnhardt
Hmm.
being killed in a race. I don't think I knew how it happened or what happened, but I must have saw something on ESPN. I was watching ESPN all the time when I was a kid,
That's funny.
and it must have been his anniversary of his death or something. And I had this idea in my mind that he walked out onto the tracks and was hit by a car, which is really gruesome and horrible. Um,
Hmm.
but I had this remembrance, and I looked it up, and I was curious, like, did that actually happen? Like, and not what happened. He died in a crash.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but I just thought it was such an, and his son was in the race that he died, which I thought that whole mixture of
Yeah.
father son
Hmm.
legacy martyrdom was such an interesting thing. And I wrote the lyrics, the first verse of that song, just as like a poem. And then I was playing the guitar, and I was like, "Oh, this is a great song."
It is great.
Kind of
Now
how
you have a
it
single
came
out
about.
with it too, right? I
I'm
see
sorry.
that. Do you have a single version out too, or is
Yeah,
that
that one
just
I put out ahead of time. That was the first single that came out. It's the same version that's on the record.
okay?
Um, but I felt like maybe it was the chorus is so catchy. I thought maybe that would be a good one to introduce the
Yeah.
world to, you know.
Now,
So
where'd you learn how to play guitar? I mean, there's some great guitar work on this,
yeah.
James.
Um So yeah, I've been a keyboard player my whole life. Um, I never really played guitar very
Hmm.
much. I think my 16th or 17th birthday, my father got me a Yamaha nylon string, which I played not very much. I don't think I was really that into it. But in college, maybe when I was 18 or 19, I started playing or just trying to write a little bit on guitar for Neptune and the Sailor.
Right.
And I wrote parts of songs, maybe one song. Uh, I wrote a little bit on guitar called Sailor and Sailor, actually, when I was about 20. And then when I just kept doing it a little bit, writing a song at a time, a song at a time. And eventually it was kind of like for this record, it was I decided I want to play all the instruments. I was writing a lot of songs on guitar at that point, about a year ago. And it just kept chipping away until the point where I could
Something.
perform these. So it's been a very organic process learning the guitar, just like, can I do this? Oh, let me
Yeah.
try finger picking. Let me try finding chords further up the neck. Let me try a bar chord. Like, just because I want to write more expansive things. And I'm not playing guitar for anyone else than myself,
Right.
which has been a very liberating experience. Because I think the piano, I've been trying to, have a more comprehensive technique, but the guitar has things that the piano can offer because
Right.
of the way it's shaped and tuned and everything. So,
Now, is this in
and it's a great
standard
tool.
tuning that you're using on this guitar, or is it different tunings?
Um, Everything's in standard except Dale Earnhardt and Oh God, which are right next to each other on the record.
Okay.
They're in a tuning that I learned from a YouTube video.
Okay.
One of my favorite artists, her name is Adrienne Lanker.
Okay.
She was talking about different tunings. That tuning is from like the bottom note to the top note, D A D F sharp G D.
Okay.
So it's kind of like an open D chord, but instead of A, there's a G. So you get like kind of a rub F sharp G. It's kind of it's a little more psychedelic sounding, I
See,
think.
that can inspire you to write new music when you change the tuning on the guitar.
Absolutely. Yeah, the sound of, and like you can't do that on the piano. Like
No,
having those open
it's true.
strings ring out in an open D chord like that is like a very guitar beautiful sound that is not really replicable on the piano.
Now, I wanted
Um
to ask you about the Honeymooners song.
okay.
Now, that is really a trip.
Yeah.
Now, did you have to get legally permission to put that clip in? Because it's great.
Um I didn't get permission. Um we'll see what happens.
That's all right. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah,
anybody's
yeah.
going to check.
No, yeah,
These
I think
days, don't worry about it.
yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, that song is an important song. I feel like in a way it's the close of the record, and it
Mm.
it it ties together a lot of the themes for me.
Well, it's a very diversified record, I got to tell you. I was really pleasantly surprised how much, you hear your jazz roots in there, your rock roots. And now, who else helped you on the record as far as production and did you do the mixing yourself?
So yeah, so all the recording, um, all the instruments are played by me except one track. The second track, I don't understand. The drums are played by my good friend Sean Sessions, who invented that drum part. It's a very slick drum
Hmm.
part, and I needed that on the record. So um, it's a very beautiful contribution. But everything was recorded by me pretty much and like engineered as much as I could
Oh,
engineer.
okay.
But then when I was going to mix the record, at first I was looking for a studio to mix it down to like an analog 2-track left right
Right.
stereo tape. But I just thought, oh, it's too expensive and it's not really worth it. I don't really have that much to mix down because I was just going to mix right off the 4-track. Um, that's the only way you can really do it. You
Yeah.
can't bounce out one track at a time because they won't sync up.
Okay.
So anyway, I decided, okay, I just do it through like digitally through a DAW. But this is my interface right here. I don't have
Oh, that's
multiple
it.
inputs. I only have one input on my interface.
Okay.
So I couldn't get a stereo mix down. So I decided to go to my friend Connor Borthwick, who mixed and mastered all the Neptune stuff. He has a studio in Jersey City,
Hmm.
home studio called Dead Kettle Sound. And I decided to go to him. I would figured he would help me mix it and give his input, and also he has the equipment to allow me to mix it down.
Okay.
So
Huh.
we spent. a day and a half just mixing down all the tracks, basic mixes off the machine,
Hmm.
and then it was mastered by Al Jones of
Oh
Miami,
yeah, he's
who's
great.
common collaborator for Primitive Substance, and who was really great. I we had a he offered a lot to the project because the mixes are simple. You know, they're we didn't do much with the thing on the 4 track. There's no reverb. There's very
Hmm.
basic EQ and panning controls. That's pretty much it. So his contribution was definitely felt, and
Yeah, Al's great. I mean, I've known Al for, I mean, I found Al with through a record I did, and now everybody's used him because he's so good.
he's great. And you know, there's a balance. I feel like with the mastering for this record specifically, you know, I want to keep the tape lo-fi quality, but not
Right.
make it so. And I think he struck that balance really, really, really beautifully. So I'm very grateful to him for that.
Now, where's the record available now? How can everybody out there buy it?
Yeah, you can go on Bandcamp and buy it. You can stream it on Apple Music, Spotify,
Okay,
YouTube,
great.
Tidal. I burned my own CDs, which um, if you contact me,
Okay.
I can send you in the mail or something like that.
Well,
And
they
they
can
have
reach you through Bandcamp, right?
right. I should put the CDs on Bandcamp. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, put it on Bandcamp and or else even when they contact you, just say, you know, maybe they'll ask for a CD, but just maybe put on there available. I'll put a note too in the description.
Okay. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate
I won't give them personal email, but just where to go
it.
on
Yeah.
Bandcamp
Yeah.
to look for that. So what's coming up next now? You've got a young career, you're still growing and
Yeah.
man,
Um, well, I've been playing a lot. I'm trying to. We've been playing a lot with this gig. I play with a small band with Sean Sessions, who was on drums on the 1 track, and Owen O'Mara.
right?
Um, we've been playing around Brooklyn. We had a house show in Montclair where there
Hmm,
was a lot of people. Album release show. I'm playing in on Halloween. I'm playing in Boston next month. I'm playing in Jersey in
great.
November. So not exactly like a tour, but just like trying to make the rounds on the East Coast, and then I'm thinking maybe next summer I'll try to book a tour that's more long term and like a little bit further away. Um, and then besides
Now,
that, just working on more music. I've been recording some demos on my computer and just writing a lot. So just
I
trying
see
to keep it
many more
going.
records coming out of you, James.
There's a
That's for
lot of music
sure.
in my head. That's
That is fantastic. Have you ever thought about doing like theater, working at a theater or off Broadway place?
um
Is that something you in
yeah, I
your
mean, I would be open to it. I think well, actually, I'm kind of working on a screenplay with
hmm,
music in it. Um, I have a script that I've written, and that's a very rudimentary level, I think. But I have about 5 songs for that, which is, and it's related to the Neptune and the Sailor oeuvre. So I'm thinking that might be a way to get the band back together. Um,
yeah. Huh.
so yeah, I have wide interests and big dreams,
Well, keep your
but it's
avenues open and you've got
yeah,
all these talent, you got such talent to go any direction you want. It's just hone in on like what you're doing now to what feels good to you.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
then take
And what feels good the most is just sitting and trying to figure out my sound and my songs. So
right. Well, that'll come. It's just it's always a learning curve in music where you find a niche and where you find what you really enjoy. And this is the first step. This is your first record, right? First solo record?
first solo record, yeah.
Okay. Well, great. I've been able to get on here for your first record, the third Bally here on the podcast. And James, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, Dennis. Thanks so much.
All right, and then good luck here.